Replay. Lawyers are leaving money on the table. Lots of it. Episode 213. Are you ready to make your law firm a profit-generating machine that will free up your time and skyrocket your impact? With more than 2 decades of business growth experience and having proven that you can be successful while prioritizing your family and your impact, introducing the Profit with Law podcast. I am your host, the creator of the firm differentiator 10x effect, Moshe Amsel. Well, hello and welcome to the Profit with Law podcast. I'm your host, Moshe Amsel, and today I am going to be giving you a replay of episode 96 that we ran a little over a year ago here on the podcast. Finding amazing employees is the toughest job for any business, and especially for a law firm. You deserve to be the law firm owner you've always wanted to be, but you can't get there without a great team. Get Staffed Up helps you build your all-star team by staffing your law firm with incredible full-time offshore virtual assistants. Work with Get Staffed Up to save money and your biggest resource, time, while they find you the best English-speaking VAs in the world. Hashtag delegate your way to freedom. To learn more, go to profitwithlaw.com/get staffed up. profitwithlaw.com/get staffed up. Thanks to our sponsor, Smith AI. Smith AI is a superior virtual receptionist service for small businesses. They specialize in working with solo and small law firms. I discovered Smith AI a couple of years ago and was blown away by the range of services, which are available at a cost any attorney, even those of you in the smallest solo practice, can afford. Their friendly receptionists respond to potential clients in English or Spanish, screen and schedule new leads, and even take payment for consults. The best part is, they don't just handle these conversations by phone. They also have live agents and chatbots capturing leads on websites and via text message. If there's one growth hack to your practice, this is it. Smith's friendly gatekeepers can staff your front lines. They'll capture new leads while you work uninterrupted. You can finally have the peace of mind that while you're working, you're not missing out on future work. Plans start at just $210 a month for calls and $140 a month for chats. They even offer a totally free chatbot, so there's no excuse. Try Smith AI today and see for yourself why attorneys like Justy Nickel in Colorado say Smith AI receptionists are the secret to business growth and client happiness. Smith AI offers a free trial, and podcast listeners can get an extra $100 discount with promo code ProfitLaw100. That's ProfitLaw100. Sign up and learn more at www.smith.ai. Trust me when I say, don't let another day go by. Try Smith AI. I have a topic that I want to discuss that is near and dear to my heart. It is something that I have been studying, analyzing, looking at for a number of years, and I'm quite passionate about the possibility for lawyers that is being completely missed by the masses right now. And I want to bring that to you, my listeners of the Profit with Law podcast. I want to share this with you. But before I do, I just want to share with you, today we did the Get Clients Now workshop. It was a full-day workshop. We had over 70 registrants. Actually, I think we went over 75 registrants for that workshop. It was paid. It cost $97 to attend. It wasn't a lot of money, but there was a ton of value given, a lot of the attendees giving a lot of positive feedback by the end of the day. And I was on my feet all day, and I am tired, but I have a podcast that comes out every Tuesday. Don't have one yet recorded for tomorrow. So I am recording it right now so that I can go and put my feet up and enjoy the rest of my evening. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about leaving money on the table. Now, I've spoken on a number of issues regarding the problems with the billable hour. Previous episodes of the podcast have covered the death of the billable hour, have covered, finding your niche, getting really strategic about who you serve so that you can provide value, talking about alternative ways to price your services. So hopefully you've already been thinking about doing flat fee billing or even a model where you can charge based on a percentage of the work that you do. But what I am actually talking about today is not any of those. So assuming that you're doing all of that, the reality is that you're still needing to do the work every time that you get a client. You need to produce the work for that client. And there are a lot of clients out there who don't necessarily want to do that. They don't necessarily want to pay for it. They don't necessarily want to be served in that way. And right now, by and large, most law firms are set up to ignore those, to basically not do anything when it comes to any of that work. So if somebody comes in and says, let's just use a divorce attorney, for example. So they come in and they say, I want to get a divorce. Here's my situation. Have a consult with you. What's it going to cost me to get divorced? So let's say that you already moved away from the hourly billing model. You're at the flat fee model. You turn to the potential client and you say, your divorce is going to cost $10,000. And I'm oversimplifying the scenario, obviously, but let's say you throw out that number, $10,000. The person sits there and they say, okay, $10,000, that's a lot of money. That's like a third of my salary, or that's that's 2 months of pay. You know what? I think I'll figure it out on my own. And then they walk away, and that's the end of it. That's the end of the conversation. If they are not going to hire an attorney to do their divorce for them, it ends there. And that is where money is being left on the table. That's only one example. So it's leading up to your service delivery. There's a potential to capture more business from somebody who otherwise might walk away. There's also the potential to capture business leading up to you that for somebody who even would eventually become a client. But there's something earlier in the process where you can help them with. Post delivery of your services, after your services are completed with your client, there is potential for ongoing work that wouldn't otherwise be there. And I might have mentioned this on other episodes of the podcast, but I definitely talk about it in my information delivery and my coaching programs and stuff like that. And what I'm talking about is information products. So the information product industry, and this is crazy, the information product industry, courses, membership sites, things like that, it's projected to be a $325 billion industry in 2025. Literally 5 years from now, it's going to be a $325 billion industry. And I think it's going to hit that way before that. In 2015, it hit $107 billion. This is a massive industry. Now, there are huge platforms like lynda.com and things like that are like, the behemoths, the gorilla of the information product industry. But there are literally courses on how to do pottery and how to play a guitar and how to, how to do canning, for people who want to can their own food. The list goes on and on. Like the wackiest things of information are being sold, packaged into a course, sold to people who want to learn how to do it themselves. There is memberships for all kinds of things. Memberships to support novice musicians, memberships to support athletes, memberships to support all kinds of groups of people in their journey. And what this highlights is that there is a huge potential to sell information, to sell essentially the knowledge that you have in your head, tucked between your shoulders. And who better to be knowledgeable about something that people want to know about than attorneys? Who better to be positioned to take their brain and put it into something that can be monetized over and over and over again? I mean, imagine the possibilities if you were to record some videos with information that is extremely valuable, how-to information, step-by-step, how to get things done, how to, helping people navigate a certain area of their life. And you can do that, and you can do the work once and continue to sell that to customers, to clients over and over and over again, and keep repeating the process. I mean, it's not a new concept, but when it comes to the legal industry, it's not being used right now. And there's so much of this out there, and people are waiting for the opportunity to be able to do that. There's a lot of people who are choosing to self-represent, doing a terrible job at it instead of choosing attorneys. There are a lot of people who could have avoided needing your service if somebody had just helped them earlier in the process. Now, let's take somebody, a bankruptcy, for example. Imagine if you, as a bankruptcy attorney who's limited on how much they can charge by the rules, because you're not allowed to, the person's declaring bankruptcy, that money has to go to the creditors. There's only a certain amount of money that you can charge your client. So you're limited on how much you can charge. You have to process hundreds of bankruptcy cases to have a decent law firm every year. Well, imagine if you can teach somebody how to avoid bankruptcy. Imagine how many more people you can help do that, where there's no regulation on how much you charge for that. You can charge whatever you want. But you can create a course, you can create a subscription model, you can create a membership where somebody needs your help to get out of debt, to avoid bankruptcy, to take the right steps, to do it the right way. And you have your knowledge and expertise to be able to do that. And you can position yourself in front of them to create something that is going to be life-changing for them. And at the same time, you're making money doing it. And sometimes you might make a lot less money than you would make in an engagement, but you probably could get a lot more clients, and you don't need to do anything for them other than deliver the already produced product. It's such a novel concept, but it is it's so obvious to me. It's so obvious to me that there is this gaping hole and gaping possibility in the legal community. Now, let me be very honest, blunt, and upfront with you. Most people are going to hear this episode and they're going to say that makes sense, and they're not going to do anything. And that is the key. When you have an opportunity and you decide to take action and other people are not, that puts you at the forefront. That puts you at the front of the pack. Now, there's a lot of different nuances that we can talk about when it comes to this. One of the things that a number of attorneys have told me is in certain states, they can only practice within that state. They can't practice out of the state. So this is limited as to who their potential target market is, who they can sell this thing to. And the reality is that if you make an information product and you're not actually giving specific legal advice to anybody, you're just explaining what the law is. You're just explaining how to navigate the system. You're teaching them how to navigate their current juncture in life. I am guessing that there is a way that you can set this up where you're not violating any rules and you're not limited to your specific state. This can open up a world of possibility of potential new business for you that you just otherwise didn't have an opportunity for. And if you think about your mission, you think about why you're doing what you do, you think about why do you want to help this specific subset of people? Why do you want to help them in this way? You can expand your reach of who you can help. You can expand the impact that you have on this world. You can change more lives by expanding how you serve and when you serve this particular audience of people. So what I wanted to do with this episode is I wanted to kind of set the framework, set the ground rules, because I'm going to be talking about this a lot this month. I'm going to be bringing on guests into the podcast who are successfully navigating this month. I'm going to be talking about an event that we have coming up in June. We're doing a one-day summit, specifically walking you through the nuances of implementing this kind of business into your law practice. So if this is something that intrigues you, if this is something you're interested in, then I want to hear from you. And you can do that by going to profitwithlaw.com/waitlist. And for those of my live viewers, so those of you listening to the podcast, I tried something new. I'm actually broadcasting this recording live as I'm recording it on my business page, on the Profit with Law Facebook page. So for those of you who are watching live, that link is not live yet. It actually is pointing somewhere else. But by the time that this podcast is released, that page will be set up. Profitwithlaw.com/waitlist. Put yourself on the wait list so that you get informed as we know more information about that upcoming one-day event, the upcoming one-day summit that's going to be happening in June. So back to the conversation. We're talking about implementing a information product into your business. Now, there's a lot of different things that you need to understand and navigate in this process. And the first thing to understand is that it's a totally different business model. How you sell information products is very different than the way that you sell anything else, the way that you approach anything else. If you try to just create an information product and sell it during a consult when you got the feeling that somebody is not going to be interested in moving forward with you, you'd be limiting your potential exponentially. There is a much better way and a much more strategic way to implement information products and to sell them into the marketplace. And this can actually, by creating a front end of information products for your business, it can actually boost and significantly increase your potential leads, potential client base for your service-based business, for the business that you currently are running. So I'm not suggesting that you replace your business, although we are going to hear from some law firm owners or lawyers that left being a lawyer to have a 100% information product business. But that's not what I'm promoting right now. It might be something that you decide to do. You might find that this is a much easier business to run. This is a lifestyle business. You don't have to see clients. You don't have to show up in certain places at a certain time. You don't have to go to court. But that's not the intention. The intention here is to serve your people in a much better way, to serve them in a much bigger capacity than you are currently doing. So I am going to ask you, how much money do you think you're leaving on the table? How much business do you think you're walking away from by not having these ancillary components in your sales process? By not hitting people earlier in the cycle of their problem, by not having an alternative for somebody who doesn't want to retain you, by not having a solution for somebody who's completed their services with you but now needs help to continue to navigate beyond your legal services. I mean, there's a ton of different ways that you can spin this. You can think about it. And what I would like you to do now is to start thinking about it. Let me start planting some seeds about the possibilities. If you're a family law attorney, well, you can start getting involved when there are cracks in the marriage, when things are not going right. You can start to create information products about how to navigate when things are on the rocks at home and how to prevent divorce, or how to navigate successfully into divorce. What if you can talk into people's lives before they came to the table of discussion that they usually end up by you? What if you could talk some sense into them earlier on in the process and eliminate some of the damage? Maybe take away some of the abuse or some of the financial destruction and ruin that might come about from it. What if after somebody completes a divorce, you can plug them into a community, a paid community that you own or that you coordinate, of single parents or of divorced individuals? You know, maybe they're divorced and they're single with no attachments. They're not parents. Or maybe they're a specific industry or specific stature or status, and you create a community for them to just engage with each other. There's not much that you need to do there other than moderate it, which you can have somebody on your staff do, and you can charge month in, month out for that. The possibilities are endless. It's as great as your imagination can take it. Now, obviously, it's something that you need to learn how to do. It's something that it's not going to come natural to you, and it's going to feel uncomfortable. especially because you're bucking the trend. You're going against the grain. You're going against the normal business model for law firms. But let me tell you, the old model for law firms, the old way of doing business, it's crumbling away from you. It's crumbling away from you, around you. I mean, I'm having conversations with people who are talking about non-lawyers owning law firms. I'm having conversations with people who are talking about the fact that there's, more and more things are being commoditized online. I mean, just look at what is the name of that software that does the business formations? LegalZoom. Look at LegalZoom. Look at all of these pieces of technology that are replacing the work that lawyers historically have been doing. You need to pivot. You need to change. You need to see the future, and you need to alter your business model. And I'm going to help you this month, the month of May 2020, leading into June 2020. I am going to help you navigate this process. We are going to talk about this. We are going to look at it from different angles, and we are going to figure out how to provide this for you, how to help you implement this into your practice. So for my live listeners, I can get instant feedback from you. Tell me what questions you have. Tell me what ideas you have. Let me know what would be helpful for me to go through and explain to you over the next few weeks and upcoming episodes. Let me know your questions. Give me your feedback. For those of you who are listening to the podcast, first of all, you can access the live video both on the Facebook business page, Profit with Law, or in the Law Firm Growth Summit Facebook group, which is where I shared this into. And if you're not a member there, you're certainly welcome to join. If you're not on Facebook, you don't want to communicate on Facebook, that's fine. Send an email to info@dreambuilderfinancial.com. Let me know what your questions are. I'm super, super excited about this topic. I love introducing something that is different, that is new, that can be a game changer for an industry. And you heard it here first, folks. So there are definitely some lawyers who are successfully doing this. And I am right now working on finding those lawyers and interviewing them so that I can bring them to you and give you some real life examples and show you what's involved and how this works. And with that, I'm going to leave it at that. So don't forget, if you want to stay on top of the event that we're going to have coming up in June and know more about it as it gets released, this is not going to be a paid event. This is going to be a free event. So it's going to be free to attend. Do not worry about needing to have to pay to attend. Just go to profitwithlaw.com/waitlist, profitwithlaw.com/waitlist. Get on the waitlist. And I am looking forward to seeing you there. And I'm looking forward to the conversations that we're going to have over the next few weeks. Well, there you have it. That's the end of the replay of episode 96. And I just wanted to touch base here again and remind you, you do not need to sign up for the wait list. You can join us for this one-day event right now. You can reserve your spot. Go to profitwithlaw.com/hidden revenue, profitwithlaw.com/hidden revenue, and join us for this event on June 15th. If you can't make it June 15th, don't worry about it. Replays will be available. Just make sure that you register so we know to send you those replays. And I really hope that you'll join me on this journey over the next couple of weeks as we immerse ourselves in this potential additional revenue stream for your law firm in the information products industry. Take care. Thank you for tuning into the Profit with Law podcast. Your feedback is extremely valuable to us, as well as helping us reach more people with this valuable content. Please leave us a rating and review in your favorite podcast directory. Join us again next time when we are back with even more strategies to profit with law.